Hey everyone, Gage Ryan here. I'm here to showcase my Traptrix build for you guys today. So, Traptrix is a deck that I've loved and I've played for many years by this point. Even tracing back to, I remember when Bobby Kenny, back in 2013 I think it was, topped with Traptrix, during the Dragoonity Dragon Ruler format. He top 8 at a regional, playing trap holes in the main deck and playing all these fun tech options. And ever since then I've always been a huge fan of this deck, and I mean the fact that we have Sarah and more actual support for it and more cards that actually work in synergy with the deck rather than just making it necessarily Myrmilio set 4. I think it's really good. It's definitely one of my favorite decks to play, probably of all time, and so for the fact that it has kind of its own archetype and more than just Myrmilio, Dynea, and like other cards that are terrible, frankly, like Atrax, it's just really good to see. So before I go any further, let's just get started with the deck profile. So you got 3 Myrmilio, pretty staple, 3 Mantis, staple. You got 2 Dynea. Listen, I love 3, I really do, but I just find that it's dead so much. I feel like 2 is kind of perfect unless it's a very specific build. I don't know, I just think that 2 kind of works perfectly. And then 1 Vesiculo, I don't know how to say this thing's name, but it's really, really good. I mean, you send a set trap you control to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand, and if you control no cards in your spell and trap card zone, you banish it, then target a whole normal trap card in your graveyard and set it to your field. So it's pretty good. You know, it's good recursion. I mean, it has multi-usage in the deck. It's good to help make Exceed plays. It's also good if one of your cards gets negated and you don't really have a follow-up play. Otherwise, you can use Vesiculo and maybe go into a rank 4 or something. So then you got triple Parallel Exceed, which is just excellent card. I mean, really, because any of your normal summons are going to go into Traptrix Sarah almost every time, and so it's just a free rank 4 Exceed that you don't really have to worry about committing any more cards to. So Parallel Exceed, just free pluses basically. Then onto the hand traps, you got 3 Ash Blossom and 2 Ghost Ogre. I mean, just good cards. I mean, they're really good stopping the Brave Engine. I know that Ash Blossom gets chain blocked sometimes, but there's always usage for Ash Blossom, pretty much no matter the deck you're playing against and no matter the deck that you're playing. It's good, it's generic. I mean, even if your opponent's just playing cards like Terraforming, Ash Blossom always has utility on some level, so I really, really like that. And then 1 Lord of the Heavenly Prison. I know a lot of people, they like 2, they like 3. I get that, I really do. With myself personally, I draw 2 and 3 together. I clog this card all the time, and so I just said, screw it, I'll play 1, because it is a good card, and it's really good whenever it resolves, and you can get, you're usually getting Pot of Prosperity off of it, and it's a good 3,000 wall that you can have. I mean, it's a really good card. You just don't want to draw 2 and 3 of it together, and of course, I have to all the time. Spells, I mean, not really much to explain here. 3 Pot of Prosperity, and then 3 Forbidden Droplet. Droplet's just amazing. I mean, it's a good card both offensively and defensively. I think that's a theme you'll find in this deck, with the hand traps, with the trap lineup, etc., etc. So for spells onto the traps, first for the trap holes, you got 1 Bottomless, 1 Gravediggers, and 2 Floodgate Trap Hole. So I like Floodgate Trap Hole more than any of the others right now, but it's also good to have other options just in case you run into, let's say, a link-heavy deck where Floodgate Trap Hole's not as good. Let's say Sky Striker, Floodgate Trap Hole is virtually unplayable, I would say. So you need to have other options for other matchups like that. And I mean, Bottomless is still good against a lot of things. Not the best against Flunderies. You side it out versus matchups like that, but you have plenty of other cards to stop Flunder. And I mean, hand traps absolutely tear that deck apart. So you got 3 Shade Brigadine. I mean, Brigadine is excellent, and it's a card that I didn't really like playing in the deck for a long time until I realized just how good it is with Sarah. I was like, well, if you don't draw any monsters, it's not good. But I mean, really, that's so infrequent that you kind of have to play this card. And I mean, again, this with Myrmilio is an instant Sarah, Trap Hole, and a rank 4. So I mean, it's a great combo. It helps contribute so much to the deck. I wouldn't really play the deck with Sarah without it. And you got triple evac. I mean, again, both good offensive and defensively. I mean, it's good if you want to bounce stuff away so you can start pushing. It's good if you want to bounce stuff away because they're problematic cards. You guys know the plays of Compulse by now. Triple Imperm. I mean, it's good either in the main or the side. I mean, usually it's a card you're going to be playing somewhere. And I mean, Impermanence, just being able to stop plays before they happen is always pretty good. And then triple Torrential, which is just, you have Traptrix Sarah. Traptrix Sarah is unaffected by all trap cards, so oftentimes you'll have Sarah in play. You go Torrential, your opponent loses everything, and then your Sarah triggers and you special summon another Traptrix, which then activates another effect, which then triggers Sarah for a second time. So Torrential is just an MVP in this deck. It really is. So that's it for the main deck. 40 cards, obviously. For decks like these, you don't really want to go over 40. And onto the extra deck. You got 3 Sarah. Yes, you do make 3 every now and again. It's always important to have, just in case. You got the 1 Kalaria. I mean, you don't make it super often, but it's never the worst option, I guess. You got Masquerena and the Unicorn. Again, just good utilities to have. I don't really make them very often. So the rank 4s are actually super important in this deck. You got Rafflesia, obvious, pretty much staple. Tornado Dragon, which I like. If you guys don't like it, you want to play something else, I get it. But I like Tornado Dragon. It's just good, getting rid of 2 spell and traps. Just the fact that you're able to potentially go +2 with this card is always really good. So it's good for specific purposes, but when it goes off, it's pretty broken. So then Time Thief Redoer, which is honestly probably my favorite Exceed in the entire deck. I mean, Time Thief Redoer is so unfair. It's a wind-up rabbit that keeps stealing your opponent's shit. I love it. I make it all the time. It's one of my favorite cards in the deck. It's just so good defensively, and it also can make its own pushes. You got the 1 Baguska. It's fine. It's not the best right now, but I mean, there are times where you play this card and your opponent's just shut down for 2 turns, and so it can help buy you some time. Castell, obvious. Dweller, obvious. You got the 2 Super Poly targets, Starving Venom and Mud Dragon. Then you got Naturia Beast, which is just auto win against so many decks, so it's never really a bad option. I always like playing this in Traptrix. Sometimes you have to take it out because maybe the format changes and it's more lenient towards traps or monster effects or whatever have you. But right now, Naturia Beast is a pretty good first turn play against certain matchups. Onto the side deck. You got triple Lancia. I mean, everybody knows how good Lancia is by now. And then the 1 Tenya Adhara. I know some people are like, why would you play this in a Traptrix deck? So it's actually a pretty strong card whenever it goes off. So remember, if you control no effect monsters, you special it from your hand. So you special summon this. It's a level 1 tuner that's Earth. Then Myrmilio and Mantis are your main cards that you want to use with it because these cards give you a plus. So the theory is you go Adhara and then go Myrmilio or Mantis, get your +1, get your trap card or whatever to set you up, and then you want to Synchro Summon for Naturia Beast. Triple Super Poly, again, just good board breaker. I oftentimes I just put this in my side deck, even if it's not particularly good against certain meta matchups, because the matchups that it is good against, this will instantly win you the game. Got double Cosmic Cyclone. You can play 3 if you want, I like 2. You got 1 Gozen match, good Floodgate, auto win against a lot of stuff. Got 2 Imperial Iron Walls, stops Flunderies, stops a million other decks that are graveyard oriented and whatnot. And then 3 Solemn Judgment for when you want to go first. It's just a great card to have. Stops evenly matched. Stops anything that you want to stop, basically. And it's so good against pretty much any auto-win card that you can think of. They want to evenly you Solemn Judgment. They want a Lightning Storm, your 4 back row, you Solemn Judgment. So that's the deck so far. As it stands, this is just version 1.0, you guys. But I really like it. It's modeled kind of loosely after the second place World Championship qualifier list that I saw. I forget which nationals it was, but it got second place, and it was a pretty similar build. He played Fusion Destiny. I chose not to. I kind of wanted more of a pure approach because that way I can incorporate more hand traps, incorporate more trap cards, things like that. But I really like his list too. If you want to play Fusion Destiny and other cards like that, I mean, more power to you. But yeah, I think the Traptrix are actually a pretty solid meta call right now. I think that there's a lot of matchups that Traptrix give trouble. So that's it. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a comment, subscribe, ring the bell. You guys know what to do, and I'll see you soon.